This is the Patron Tactical V1 Shred Pull, a carbon skate that does not feel like a carbon skate and that costs $625. Is it worth it? Well, that's what we're going to be talking about in this video. Hola YouTube, my name is Ricardo Lino and I'm a wheel addict. Welcome to the Patron Tactical V1 Shred Pull review. Let's do this.
Tell me that this trick doesn't go with my clothes.
In this little section of the promise.
Okay, so I need to start by talking about Patron. Patron as a brand. Patron is the skater-owned brand owned by one of my longtime heroes, Clark Kirkman. As someone living in Portugal, that most of the access that I had for a long time was magazines and the internet. When the internet became a thing, Clark's video part on BMag had a huge influence on me. And I remember this really tall, skinny guy skating woodward and doing like hurricane topsouls both ways and doing lots of negative tricks. And really, that part had a huge influence on me. So much so that I used to skate listening to Ignite, to Patron, which was the song used by Clark on that video part. Anyway, I think you get the thing. I'm a huge fan of Clark, and knowing that Clark now has a skate brand, I wanted to check it out. So I need to go straight to disclaimer, and I need to tell you that I did pay for these skates. These skates are on the website right now, as I said, for $625 as a complete skate only. It comes with a different frame. Comes with a frame similar to this. It's a Wish frame, but Clark was nice enough to sell me boot only because I told him I already had some Wish frames and I wouldn't really need another one just because of the color. And very important, when you buy these skates, they come with the old sole plates, the one that has a very wide heel. Well, Clark was also nice enough to send me the new sole plates, the ones that I'm using here, the ones that you can see that the heel is not as wide. As you can see, they shaving it and they made a couple differences, which we're going to be talking about in a second. But what I need to talk about too is the sponsor of this video. This is a self-sponsored video. It's sponsored by my Patron. In case you didn't know, I've been making lots of content on Patron. It's a way for people that enjoy what I do to support what I do, and I provide them with very unique content. So for this video, what I'm going to be doing is, just want to let you all know that I've been sent these wheels by Basilisk, which is a new company based in China from a friend of mine, a South African friend of mine that also started a new skate shop in Beijing. So he sent me a couple of wheels, and these ones I'm going to be giving away to one of my patrons. So right now I'm going to snap my fingers and I'm going to be doing that giveaway. And now back to the video. You already know who the winner was. Now let's talk about these Patron Tactical V1s. Well, I need to say that I still find it a bit weird that the company is called Faction, knowing that there's a skiing company also called Faction. And with us being so close, I find it a bit weird. I don't know if Clark was aware of it or not. I still find it weird, but I think we all just get used to it. I've been hearing more and more skaters saying Faction this, Faction that, so people get used to it. Now, let's talk about these. What do we have here? I'm going to need to start by explaining the structure of this skate. So, the reason why I say that this is a carbon skate that does not feel like one, well, carbon skates are known for being extremely stiff. In case you didn't know, there's basically two types of skates, the ones that use plastic and the ones that use carbon. Some of them don't use carbon 100%, some of them use glass fiber, but in general, the carbon skates or even the glass fiber skates or the Kevlar fiber skates, they are usually stiffer because those types of materials don't offer the flexibility that the plastic does. Now, most of the carbon skates up until maybe like 4 or 5 years ago, they all had a built-in liner. Then Leon Bassim started like taking all the foams from his CJ skates and putting the Intuition liners, making them feel different. And nowadays you have almost every carbon skate coming with a removable liner. So the Faction Tactical V1 is one of those skates where you have a removable liner. By the way, I don't really like the art here. I think it's a bit childish, but I don't see it as much. But the truth is the liner that comes on this skate is puffy and it works really good with this. I'll tell you more in a second. And now, getting back to the structure of the skate. Most of the carbon skates or the carbon aggressive skates that you have on the market, which, like I said, they now come with removable liners, well, they do have these leather that you see here, this leather piece or this, let's call it fabric piece, which basically is outside glued to the carbon. Basically there's the carbon and then this leather comes on top, but usually the leather comes all the way to the top. It even comes above the cuff. Now on these skates, as you can see here, you can see the gray because this material, this fabric ends making this skate feel completely different from any other carbon skate that you have on the market right now. So if most of the carbon skates will feel stiff, this one does not. It's crazy because it really feels like you can move your foot around a lot, especially because it also has a wide toe area. And Clark told me that he specifically wanted the skate to have a wide toe so that people can move a little bit inside for some tricks, and it's really comfortable. It's really, really, really comfortable, especially with this liner. And when I first got it, I was thinking that I was going to change the liner. I would try them with the Intuitions. I'm a huge Intuition fan. I've been using also some other liners like the new My Fit Prime liner. It's amazing. But I did not even want to try any of those liners on this skate because they felt good. They really felt good with this liner. Again, I don't like the art here on the side, but I don't see it at all. So when I put it back in, boom, it kind of reminds me, like this colorway here, it kind of reminded me of the original Remedies, which I was a huge fan of. Now, something that I don't know if it was just me, but I had to put like one of those Intuition shock absorbers because I didn't find one on the skate. I don't know if I lost it or if they just come without a little shock absorber, but I kind of felt it's me, yeah? Because when I first skated them, I didn't feel what I'm about to say. But after skating with other skates, when I got back to these, I kind of had that K2 feel where my heel was a little bit too low. So after putting just a tiny bit of a shock absorber with that little Intuition thing that I just told you, you've seen it, I think you've seen it before, just a little piece of foam that comes on the Intuition liners. After putting that, it kind of felt like it leveled, and it shouldn't make that much of a difference, but the truth is, it did. So in terms of comfort, they're really, really comfortable. And again, the structure of this skate makes it feel so different. And the reason why I didn't even want to skate with another liner is, as I said, with the fabric, with this material, this leather ending right here, I kind of feel like most of the other liners, they wouldn't be thick enough from this part up to offer me the support. Now, I'm not saying that this liner is offering a lot of support because, as I said, I can move my feet a lot inside. But at the end of the day, once again, extremely comfortable, nothing to complain here. Something that I was also not expecting to like was this little thing. Like with this case, I found myself just pulling this, closing it, this little plastic piece, rolling around the buckle, and boom, back in. And it does work. Like, I don't know about you, but in general, I'm not one of those that crank my aggressive skates like a lot. I like to have my aggressive skates kind of tight, like especially lengthwise. But on the ankle, yeah, I need to feel supportive, but I don't over crank them. I don't over tighten them. I like them to be comfortable, and I like to be able to do some movement. So this is how I use these skates, and they did work well. The lacing system is good. It's basically two separate laces. You have the laces that come on the bottom part, just on this fabric, leather, whatever you want to call it. And then you have a different lace just for the liner, which is the one that comes with this little plastic piece that I just showed you. Now, if you want, you can just get some extremely long laces and you can integrate it, and it would probably be really good too. I didn't even try it. I kept them as they came stock. Even if the first part of the video that you saw, I was skating with these Create Originals, I actually even skated them similar to what they are stock with the Wish frames. And that's a very pleasant surprise. And now let me talk about how they really felt skating-wise. Because they do feel comfortable. They do feel like I can do a lot of movement inside, and this was something that I was actually scared. And that's why I wanted to start skating with a lower frame like the Create Originals. I started skating with the Create Originals smallest size frame with 60mm wheels and anti-rocker wheels that don't even roll. I don't even know what to call to this, but they don't roll. It's like stones. I don't know. Anyway, I started with these and they were amazing. So I actually been posting videos on my Patreon about the evolution of the review, and having the possibility of moving my feet so much made a lot of the tricks so easy. And I first started by skating them with the original soles. And the original soles, look, the front part, they're not wider. Like the front part, I think they're like quite the same, like from the front part of the sole is basically the same. Now, the back is completely different. If you look at here, you can see that this one is this square piece sticking out, which some people didn't really like. I think it was more of an aesthetic thing than really the feel, because feeling-wise, these things were amazing. I kind of felt like on some tricks, it was not just the top side tricks, because on top sides, of course, it would help me to have this wider heel. But even on some tricks, like imagine like a back Savannah, it happened to me while skating in Shanghai, trying a back Savannah and kind of feeling like this one was so slim here that my foot would sometimes just come out.
Why?
Because I was probably expecting to have this big piece there just touching and grinding with it. I think this is the type of stuff that you get used. Now, the Royale plates are obviously completely different, while this one has a more shadow type of feel, like it's completely aligned, like for you to do a Royale with these. Of course, this is wide, it's a wide sole, but it makes your foot go like completely straight. Now, with these, you will notice that the backslide plate, it's like the groove is a bit in the back, a little bit like the Mesmers, or even a little bit like the M12s. And I was scared that I was not going to be able to do some tricks that I was able to do with these. I've been that guy that is always talking about front torques, regular and switch. But it's the thing. It's been the thing for me. So I recently learned how to switch from torque. And with these, I was actually able to switch front torque on a little ledge, which is something that I never really did. And that I was scared by changing the soles, I would lose it, but I was able to still do it. So even with the groove coming a bit more to the back, I didn't really felt that much of a difference. They both slide equally fast. I like that the newer ones have a more like, I would say low profile style. They have like a more like toned down style. They come with these little logos underneath, like the faction logos, while this one is more just like a straight thing. This one, when I look at it, it really reminds me of the Shadow Souls. Somehow it really reminds me of the Shadow Souls. Negative wise, it's basically similar. This one is more flat, straight lines, while this one is more round. But when I skated, it didn't make a huge difference. It made a little bit of a difference, but I could adjust to it. All the tricks, especially with the Create Originals, were extremely easy. I use the term shittier skates quite a lot on this channel, and these were completely a pair of shitty skates, and I was not expecting to like them as much as I did, and I thought, yeah, all good, but they're like anti-rocker, and anti-rocker, there's a lot of these tricks that I could already do with other pairs of skates. So now let me just put this pair of wish frames, which is what they come with originally, and let's see if I can do most of the stuff. And guess what? I was really impressed with this case. So this is like a tall frame. This is the Wish Classic frame. It's supposed to be ridden with 72 60s. Right here, I'm using 55s, the red eye 55s, the original ones, and undercover 68s. I really like them. Like the skate, I was able to basically do the exact same stuff that I was doing with the Create Originals. I could bend my foot enough to do switch front torque flat, which is, it's hard for me. There's only one other pair of skates that I can switch front torque flat good, and that is the blank skates. And that skate has like the frame like synced inside the boot because the sole plate is outside the base where the frame goes on the boot. They work. And I was like, yeah, all good. What about if I try them with a pair of big wheel frames? Because it's a carbon boot, so I know that a lot of people will think that a carbon boot will be good for big wheel skating. But then I also thought, yeah, but this boot is extremely soft. Am I going to be able to skate a big wheel frame on a soft boot? Because on one end, it's like, yeah, it's a carbon boot supposed to be steep, but on the other end, it's like, it's a carbon boot that doesn't feel like a carbon boot. So when I put them in, I was actually able to skate it. Like, I cannot say that I had the same amount of support than I would have on a CJ skate, as an example, on a Sabre CJ skate. It doesn't offer me the same support at all. But it gave me a very pleasant experience. I did not try them like direct mount with a frame straight to the carbon. I used them with a sole plate. And from the time that I was skating and I was doing a couple of slides and stuff like that, there was only one time that the sole plate actually touched and slided out. So, yeah, it did work really good. Now, I did lace them a lot harder. When I skated them with the big wheels, I laced them harder. To the point that here on top, on the ball of my foot, I could actually feel a little bit of extra pressure because of how much I was tightening my skates. So, I don't know, kind of felt like the tongue, which is in a liner that is really squishy on the side, here in the front, for some reason, I was still able to feel the laces coming up really firmly. Like, I wouldn't say that was uncomfortable, but I could feel it. I don't know, man. I know that I'm just all over the place with this review, but I freaking love them. I really, really, really like them. And what I also really like about these, I already said it, I love that it's skater owned by someone that has been a hero of mine for such a long time. But it's also what Clark has been doing over the past couple of months. Like, he's been supporting events. Like, he was at, I met him for the first time in real life last year at Spring Cup. He then was at Blading Cup. He was again on Spring Cup. He was at Winter Clash. He's been going to events and he's been sponsoring the events. And the team, I don't know if you guys have seen the team. They have such a unique team. I love it. I love the fact that they're not just going like every other team, just choosing like the best of the best that everyone, they are all amazing skaters. They're the best at what they do, all of them. Like, starting with Cameron Card is someone that I have a massive respect for his skating, but he changed a lot over the years. He's skating amazingly, but he wasn't someone that I was expecting to see as a pro skater in 2023. Is he not good? Of course he's good. He's amazingly good, amazingly talented. And it's amazing to see that he found a home. Just like the other guys, like Jimmy Sees. Jimmy Sees is crazy, the type of stuff that he does with his feet. Like Eric Michaels, like that guy is skating, he does all these different flips. Then the superhero, Shredpool. Shredpool has a pro skate. It's 2023. We have a pro skate for a skating superhero. China has a place in the pro. I don't know if they call it pro team because these are the names that they have on the top of their website. And then they have all these other skaters. I don't know if they're the flow skaters, the amateur skaters, or just part of the team, but not like the main characters. I don't know. Like, they have Ian McLeod. Ian McLeod is skating with these skates. Like, amazing. They have the best female team with China, with Victoria. I think she's from Stockholm, if I'm not saying anything wrong. And Nick from Holland, Tina from San Francisco. I met her last year in San Francisco. That was actually the first time that I've seen the Faction skates, last time that I was in the US. I would dare to say that Faction is right now the best female team for sure. And as a team, they are a real team. Like, the other guys that I said, the ones that are on the website, on their website, Cameron, Jimmy, Eric, China, and Shredpool, they skate often together, which is amazing. They're like a real team. And they are different from the other guys. Like, look at Mesmer skates. Like, Mesmer has also a real team. They all look in a certain way. Dam skates, they also have a real team. They all fit in a different way. And Clark was able to find a group of individuals that all fit in a certain look. Amazing. When the brand first came out, I actually told Clark that the image was a bit weird, mainly because of the way that he was putting the videos that were filmed differently and all that stuff. But I think he's been tuning all these things and it's becoming like more and more a real thing. I love the product. I couldn't be happier that I bought these, and I'm going to be looking for what Faction is going to be doing next. So, answering the question, they cost $625. Are they worth it if you buy it complete? Or I think they're $425 if you buy the boots, like the whole black. These ones are not sold as a boot only, but the newer one coming out, the all white. Are they worth it? Hell yeah, they're completely worth it. Like, they are a completely different skate in terms of how they feel, and also in terms of what you are supporting by buying these brands. So I don't give Clark a thumbs up, I will give him 2 thumbs up. I don't have any more ends. Sorry, Clark. But I guess you guys understand how I feel about these skates. So yeah, with that being said, thank you. Thank you for the support. If you want to get more wheels and future giveaways and stuff, you can always become a patron. You don't need to become a patron if you just want to watch these videos and if you don't want to support what I do, or if you can't, but you should and you can press on that subscribe button because that is free. Like, by the way, Patreon, you can also try it for free. There's also like a 14 days free trial. Just check the link in the description. Now, yeah, if you liked the video, give me a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, leave me a thumbs down, but let me know in the comments what you didn't like about this video. And if you have any thoughts about anything that I've said throughout this video, or if you have a different opinion, let me know. If you have any question, let me know. Write it down in the comments. I'm going to be reading them and I'm going to be doing my best to answer as many as I can of these comments. And with that being said, I'm going to finish this video the same way as I finish every other video, and that is by reminding you, or by telling you, to never ever forget why we all started skating. And that is because it's fun. Cheers and see you soon. Check this out. Boom, Eric Michael backflip.